right, this is Chuck.
What's up, Chuck? How you doing, man? My name's John. Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you, John.
Yeah,
I'm
good.
I'm Taylor. I'm Taylor. Um,
Taylor.
so this is Check the Candy. We normally just start off recording, just shoot the shit and have a good time.
Okay.
Um, I do want to go over just a few things with you, and I have so John and I have this ongoing thing, and we're gonna get into that in a little bit. But we have
All
an
right.
ongoing thing within Check the Candy ever since the movie come out. Um, and I'm really interested for you to change my mind. But here's the thing. I want to talk about how you got started. What drew you to what drew you to movies and what drew you to I guess the TikTok side of things, you know?
Um, what got me into movie? I mean, I've been watching movies since I was a little kid. I think it was a part of my dad worked, 7 12s a week, 7 12s every week for 35 years. So he was never home. My mom worked 2 jobs. So like I was always just home with my sister. So, I mean, it was like I don't know. I just got into movies as a kid, and I've always watched them. And it hasn't always been horror, but like, cause I'll go toe to toe with anybody on TikTok on any genre of anything. I just happen to love horror movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like
Yeah.
I'm a big horror fanatic, but like I love I love other movies. Like Titanic's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I go heavy into all different genres. I obviously gravitate towards horror because I think it's just all in all the best genre because I think it has all of the genres kind of rolled into one. You can get some comedy in there, uh, uh, action in there, drama, sci-fi. You get all that shit in horror, which is awesome. But yeah, I do the same thing. I mean, I've been on like a war movie kick, dude. Like I've been just
I love war.
crushing war movies, and like I recently watched All Quiet on the Western Front, and it fucking
Oh,
blew me away, dude. So like I've been on this huge. I started Band of Brothers and the Pacific, and
mhm.
the new Masters of the Air and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it always comes back to horror for me.
Same. War movies are like horror movies, though.
Yeah, true, true. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's real horror.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like Taylor. He's a big serial killer guy. He likes the true crime stuff as well. And I have a hard time watching those because it's like so real. It's kind of like the war
Yeah.
movie thing where the drama of it is like yeah, it's the movies are dramatized, but like you still have that feeling, that emotion in them, and it gets me, dude. It really does. Like seeing demons and monsters and creatures and shit is all fun, you know. You understand that's fake. When you get into the real shit, that's some real
Oh,
horror.
yeah. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Um so serial killers, man, that's I know you dig into some wild fucking shit, you know. Why like I watched what was it, Titan or something like that?
Oh,
Um
man.
Oh,
like you yeah,
So,
is that the car movie?
yeah, dude, I
yeah.
watched it because you recommended it and you were like, well, not really recommended, but you were talking about it and I'm like, dude, this girl straight up gets fucked by this car. Like
Oh, yeah.
it's a wild movie and I don't watch movies that are like foreign and subtitles and stuff. I have a hard time. I'm very not that person. My fucking light is killing me. Anyways, um but that movie, man. But serial killers, do you dig into any of those?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I dig into it all. I mean, I love true crime. Like I could, I mean, I could watch the ID channel for 52 hours straight. I mean, I love true crime documentaries. But for the same reason that he said about the war movies and everything, like them real true crime docs and serial killer docs, like that feeling that it gives me to know that like this could be my neighbor or the lady across the street or like that shit, like that feeling of that like fear is
It's
something that
real.
I've been attached to it for a very long time. I almost chase it. Like I think that's what we do as horror lovers is
Yeah.
chase that
Yeah.
And
that first scare.
that's my thing whenever it comes to like horror movie. I love them. They're so much fun, but like they don't scare me. And that's why I like the serial killer aspect of it because it's so realistic. Like you made a recommendation on Zero Day, and dude, I'm telling you right now, that is one of the most fucked up films, but most impacting films I've ever watched.
Mhm.
That right there, I went to immediately buy it, the physical copy. I know you're not a big physical copy guy, but I am, and I have a shit ton of stuff, and I wanted to own that. And I went to eBay and looked for it, dude. And just the DVD is like 120 something dollars, crazy.
Yeah, I know. Mhm.
But dude, that movie right there is a prime example of what real horror is to me, you know. And that was
Absolutely.
scary. That was very scary. It was so realistic too, because it was shortly after Columbine, you know, like it wasn't that
Mhm.
long after. I think it was like what, 2003?
Yes, I think it's 2003. That last like 18 minutes or 20 minutes it's done from the security
It's
cams.
terrifying.
It
Terrifying.
may be the most haunting thing I've ever seen put on film. Period.
It's tough.
Dude,
It is
Sounds
tough.
sounds like it's like a more.
I recommended it to John. Like, and I told him, I was
Yeah,
like,
I
dude,
It,
got a tough, with the shootings and stuff. I have a hard time with it. It sounds like it's a more hyped up Rampage. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen
no,
that.
it's
no.
nothing like Rampage. It's
Really?
not like I think Rampage crosses the line that it's like a little exploitive. And I don't think Zero Day is exploitive. It's more voyeuristic than exploitive. Like it feels like you're with them kid like them kids. You
Yeah.
know, like it
So
feels real.
like what is it? Eric and what's the real boys from Columbine? Eric and so and so, I
Uh,
can't remember his name. Um, you know the videos that they made, right?
Right,
Like their personal home videos. It's like that, dude. It is
right.
so. This movie was beyond its time, I think,
Oh yeah. Like when they're in their dad's bedroom and they break down his shotgun. Like
dude.
that shit, dude, that shit is fright. It's because they're just like so excited about it, how fast he could do it under a minute. And like
Yeah,
they talk so I think the most powerful scene in that whole entire movie was when they were burning all their shit so that they wouldn't leave nothing behind.
yeah.
And
To make it look like it was negative or whatever. Yeah, dude. Wild.
just it was so like it was so methodical. Like it's that shit scares the fuck out of me.
It's so scary. Have you? So speaking of some like along those lines, and John, I know you're not big into these movies, and I'm sorry, but like, um, have you seen We Need to Talk About Kevin?
It's fantastic.
Yes. So
I
that
think it's fantastic.
it's very, very, very dramatized, but it is a situation. Like
It
those things like that happen, you know.
it does.
Um,
That was really carried by performance too. Like that's a movie that if they would have had the wrong people in it, it could have been, you know, more exploitive. But I mean, that's a good. Did you see something about the Johnsons?
no.
Put it on your list and watch it. If you think something to talk about Kevin did something to you, watch something about the Johnsons. It's like an hour and 8 minutes long, and your jaw will be left on the floor.
Dude, I'm all in. I'm fucking
Yeah,
all in.
it's so fucking good, but it's haunting. So
Okay.
be careful with it. Yeah, but it's good.
I'm good with it. I'm good with it. Um, John, have you seen We Need to Talk About Kevin?
No, I've heard of it. It's got like Ezra Miller. Is that who? I think it's Ezra Miller, right?
Tilda Swinton and John C.
John C.
Riley.
Riley. Yeah, yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
Yeah, and then the boy that did the Flash, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
Ezra
Ezra
Miller.
Miller. Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay. I don't know his name.
Yeah, I've heard about the movie. I haven't seen it, but
He's incredible, dude. He's like jacking off and just keeps staring at his mom. Like
you love
fucked up.
those movies, dude.
I love him.
Saltburn, fucking.
I love Saltburn.
You love
I
all
love
that shit.
Saltburn.
All
Did
the
you
sh-
like it?
I think Saltburn's a masterpiece.
Masterpiece, dude.
I loved
So
it.
John recently we talked about it. He watched it, I watched it. I loved it. He didn't like it so much. And he compared it to one of our buddies, and we were on a podcast, and he's compared it to what was it? Rigsby or what was that damn movie?
Yeah, very, very loosely
Talented
to Talented
Mr.
Mr. Ripley, obviously. Very loosely, but
So
That's
I
a
want
obsessive that obsessive trait, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
that's very fair, and I've heard a lot of people say that. I think that Saltburn goes a little bit deeper than that because it's really loosely based off of like some Greek mythology, like the Minotaur and the Labyrinth. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've ever read about that, but if you do, it'll make much more sense to you. But I think a lot of people just misunderstood Saltburn. I think it's brilliant.
There's another movie I want to talk about that a lot of people have misunderstood. We'll get into that a little bit later. Because I'm so excited to talk to you about it. But
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be one to end on because I feel like it's going to be a good 20-minute
is.
convo.
it is. I want you to tell me how you got into TikTok.
How did I get into TikTok? I mean, I stumbled into it, to be honest with you. I have a couple buddies and a couple people in my family. I mean, people have been telling me for years, like, you have all this information about these movies. Like, I'm always like, even on my regular personal Facebook, like, if I like something, I would write like a little synopsis of like what I thought about it and just post it on there. Just, you know what I mean? Like, for no, and just never even think about it. So people constantly for 20 years have been saying, why don't you do something with this information that you have because you just know shit? Like, because my brain works like I remember actors like that are in like I could tell you almost every movie like Barry Pepper, the sniper from Saving Private Ryan, was in, and like that's just like a random thing that my brain retains. Um, so I don't know, man. One day, like I'm always on TikTok, and I got to give a shout out to I don't know if you follow Ricky666 from the UK. But he does like the same thing I do. Like, dude loves horror movies. You know what I mean? And like I followed him before I ever made a post. And one day I was like, I could do this too. And just one day I just started it. I posted a video and that was it. And then, I didn't really think it was nothing. But then I started to catch a little steam and I was like, uh-oh, maybe I have something.
Yeah.
And here we are today. I'm on Check the Candy podcast. I mean, it's fucking surreal, actually.
Yeah, it gets addictive when you get a little bit, especially when you're doing, I mean, addictive in a good way when like you're doing something you love, like you love movies. So it was kind of like when we started Check the Candy, it was like, we love doing it. We might as well just hit record, right? Like
Right.
there's no harm that can be done. If you get followers and you get fans, it's cool. And if you don't, you're still doing shit you like to do. So,
Right.
once you do get a little bit of a following, it's like, ooh, this feels good, and like I can
It
trend in the
does.
right direction, and you can see what you do that works, see what you do that doesn't, in the content space. It's cool. And TikTok's I like TikTok. I watch TikTok all day, but I'm not too good at posting. You know what I mean? So it's interesting to have you on, someone who's
It
on a
it
different
is
platform.
that's what I was going to talk to you about, is because like TikTok is it's so much different than all of them are different. YouTube's different.
Right.
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. TikTok is a world that it's like, it's like, I don't know if you have to do the hashtags, or I don't know if you have to do the right I don't
Right.
know what you fucking have to do. Like,
TikTok is it's work is what TikTok is.
yeah,
Like
I think it's
it's fun.
posting every day kind of deal.
Oh, I mean, it's consistency is key. Like if you're not consistent, you lose the algorithm, and once you lose the algorithm, you're fighting. You're swimming up water. And it's not friendly or forgiving. It's brutal, and it nobody could figure it out. But like the only thing that I've figured out that like I'm in a Discord with like 60 other creators, and it's the craziest thing in the world because everybody, it's like iron sharpening iron. Everybody's supportive of each other. There's no egos in there. Nobody's like trying to be the fucking best. Like everybody's just like, we all want to win. Like that's our goal. We just say that every day. Like we all want to win. It's being consistent, following a time schedule, posting 3 times a day. Like you just gotta like bully the algorithm basically, like to get anywhere. It's hard. It's a fucking job is what it is.
Yeah.
And you have to have thick skin, right, in the content game, because like,
Yeah.
because I mean, if here's the thing, like you're gonna get some hate, and I feel like if you don't get some hate, you're probably not doing something right. There's something you gotta fix.
100%.
It's gonna come. Like I did an indie film, Devils Are We, and I posted it. We put it on our YouTube page. It got 63,000 views, and like that was my first time really like experiencing really kind things as well. But like
Right.
you get that one comment that's worst
Your movie
movie ever
sucks. Yeah, right.
made.
Yeah,
And
right.
like it stings a little bit, but you at the same time, I think if you look at it in a positive manner and say, hey, you're just throwing me back into the algorithm, you know, you're just
Yeah.
the more comments you make, the more you know, if that person, I had one comment that said, everyone, you know, everyone told me that this was a good movie. Dot dot dot, worst movie ever made. And he's like, so then I told a bunch of my friends to go watch it because it's the worst movie. And I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
what
if
you
I,
need.
if I get 10 more people to watch the movie because you hated it, you're doing me a
Yep.
favor.
That's how
And
I
you're
look at it too.
you're allowed to have your own opinion, so it's fine, you know.
Yep, I'll take every negative comment that I can get because it creates engagement. I respond to every single. I listen. I respond to more negative comments than I do to positive comments
Yeah.
because it keeps the feed under my videos going, and I'm always like, and I always reply to things like with an open ended question. You know, like this is the worst fucking movie ever, and I'll just put really in a question mark, and it
Yeah.
drives those people crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like they really got nothing better to do, but it's also like if you can get some constructive criticism in there as well
Hmm.
and some conversations going with different opinions that's respectful is always fun as well. Um but it is a you got to have a little bit of thick skin for sure and think about it in the right way, you know.
What's different too on TikTok, like even like when you post on YouTube, because I don't have a lot on YouTube, but I'm working on that, and my Instagram's starting to take off. I'm really putting effort into that. But on YouTube, you can write underneath a comment and tell somebody to fuck off, and ain't nobody going to do nothing about it.
Right.
TikTok is different, so you have to be careful how you respond to people, because somebody could just report your account, and all that hard work that you did could just
Hmm.
be gone in a fucking instant. So you have to really have like some
What?
humble reserve. Yeah, like it could
Yeah.
just be just gone, just like that,
Yeah,
which is it's
also
scary.
That shit.
also being in the horror community, it's like you could if you're a special like I feel bad for like special effects people because they're posting all this hard work that they did and someone will flag it
Hmm.
as being violent, you know, even so you got to put the
Right,
whole fake blood warning dot 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 and try to
right.
save yourself, you know, and
Hmm.
someone could just you could be beefing with someone could just not like you and like you know your shit could go down the drain. Luckily, the horror community, for the most part, when you make friends on there and get close with people, everybody's mostly pretty cool. But once you get past a certain stage, it's like you're gonna see that no matter what, you know.
Yeah, everything seemed really cool at the beginning, and I met some really wonderful people. Um, but I don't look at numbers to I mean I do because I have to, but I
Right,
don't look at them in the sense of like I'm not chasing views. Like
right,
I'm not posting content for views. I'm posting content because I want to expose people to like extreme obscure cinema.
right.
And if it just happens to do views, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
you're not like clickbaiting and
yeah,
shit.
but once you're a little guy, everybody's really cool. But
Yeah,
when the numbers start rising, it changes. It's just
yeah,
human nature.
yeah.
Yeah.
True, true. And
Problem.
I think that's the difference between like TikTok and Instagram too, is Instagram seems to be very it's almost pretty, you know, like everything because
It is pretty.
it's photo driven, right? Like and video, but like
Mhm.
everything's you feel like it has to look good, you know, and TikTok seems a lot more like like about the information. It doesn't matter like exactly what it looks like, you know what I mean? It's more about
Absolutely.
the information and what you're getting out of the post. But Instagram's a little bit different. That's why we hooked up with Alt Fiction, our art guy who does amazing work and he's helped us out a lot because like it needs to look good, you know. It's a very odd
Yeah.
thing, but
It is. It has to be pretty on Instagram, and Instagram is the heartbeat to everything social media. I feel anyway. Like
I feel too.
I've made connections through the DM on Instagram that like I'm going to Chicago in October to see a 20th Century Fox film get filmed to like learn how movies are made from an actor that I made friends with
nice.
on Instagram. Like it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's
That's
wild.
cool.
You have access, like rate two people. Like maybe they don't look at it and leave it on red, but like the amount of companies and people that have read shit I've sent through DM on Instagram is unfucking believable.
Yeah, it's
Because they're
almost
all
like
sitting on the they're
yeah,
all sitting on the shit or reading the fucking phone too. You know what
yeah,
I
it's
mean?
almost
Yeah.
like you're always at the right place at the right time, you know, because like it's
Mm-hmm.
always available. So like you can always like shoot your shot as long as like you're not being like an annoying little twat. Like it's like you can
Right.
DM people and
Absolutely.
most of the time people are cool, especially in the horror community and the movie community. It's like people want to engage with their fans for one thing, and then people that like the same shit that they do. Because let's be honest, as horror fans, we don't just get to walk around in everyday life and like be like, hey,
That's right.
did you see fucking, did you see Nope?
Right.
Like it's like
Yeah,
it's
right.
very obscure.
Agreed.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's
Um,
very it's funny how TikTok has blown up, but you're right. Like Instagram has kind of like been through the trenches, I feel like. There's always going to be like something new, and then it usually outlasts it, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
What was
so
that? Threads come
And
up, and it's just like I'm fucking over
Threads
Threads.
is Threads is trash.
it's trash. Well, I
If,
mean, it's
but
just
if
Twitter, and Twitter's a cesspool.
right,
It's the same shit. I mean, and it's really not that different from Instagram. It's just word based. So it's like you're doing
it's
this,
weird.
you know what I
It's
mean?
weird
It's
who
weird.
sees your shit on Instagram too. Like this morning, like Alice Cooper's guitarist liked my reel. You know what I
The
mean? Like that.
girl?
It's like
Yeah.
so. No, the guy. I see his name's Ricky something. Is a guitarist for Alice Cooper. I don't even know who he is, but like he got like fucking a million something followers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just randomly seen my reel when he was on the toilet. I'm like,
It's
plus
cool.
You're gonna stick with the toilet thing, aren't you?
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
I guess, yeah. But it's true because and that's what a lot of people have told me. Like the guy that I made friends with is his name's Kevin Introdonato, and he was in Malicious, The Bastard Sons. He's a guy from Jersey, real regular guy, real fucking nice guy, good dude. But he said that that's what all those guys hate. Like everybody will approach them like they're something that they're not. They're just regular people. You know what I mean? And like nobody wants somebody to approach them like from like an ass kissing fan
Yeah.
perspective. But if you talk to people normal, they're cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I so I'm sitting here trying to dial in all this information. This is a good because I don't know how TikTok works, period. Uh I run the TikTok thing for Check the Candy, and all I know how to do is get on there and watch funny ass videos.
Yeah, it's good for
So
good for that.
so learning things from you is informational. I do want to talk to you about one thing. I seen a video and I actually shared it on Check the Candy today. Skinamarink. I want you. So John
You
and I.
hit you just hit a sweet spot.
Yeah, yeah. This is a ongoing thing since the movie come out.
Mhm.
I want you to change my mind and John's mind.
You just both hate it.
Yes,
Oh, I hated it, yeah. But I have some things to say about it because
I do too. I do too. But go ahead.
Did you
that-
hate? Did you hate it? Did you hate it to the point that you turned it off?
no. No,
Did you watch
I
it together?
No,
Okay, so you watched it separately. Did you watch it with people or by yourself?
by myself.
I watched it with my wife. And I also
Okay.
watched it at home. So
I did too.
I think that's a big
I, wa-
thing because
I watched it in my bed.
my biggest
I think
thing
it's be-
with Skinamarink is it's and this is where I first had a negative reaction after first watching it because I am very story driven
Mhm.
as far as horror goes and movies go. So in this
Mhm.
particular movie, the plot is secondary to the experience, right? It feels like the overall experience and putting yourself within it's almost like putting yourself within the movie is the
Mhm.
experience of it. It's a lot has a lot to do with the cinematography and the noises and the way it looks and striking a chord with your childhood and things like that. But it does feel like the plot comes a little bit secondary to the experience that you're supposed to be having with the movie, or the relationship, I should say, with the movie.
Right. I mean, that's a very fair assessment because it's
Mhm.
very thin on plot.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's not. And it's weird that that movie really caught me because, like, most of the media I consume, like, I don't like, even when I do disturbing movies, like, I don't like gore and shit just for gore. Like, there's got to be a fucking point to it. You know what I mean? Like, I
Right.
need a story. I got to care about these characters. Video games I play nothing but story driven, like BioShock, Last of Us. You know what I mean? Like there's got to be a story for me to play a game.
Right.
But I also, for the same reason, like you watch war movies, or I like thrillers, or people like The Notebook. Like, why do people like The Notebook? Because it reaches into your soul and it evokes some kind of reaction and emotion from you.
Right.
So
And that's what Skinamarink did to me. Like when I seen it, I was at home by myself. I watched it in a pitch black room. I got a 5.1 surround, all the bells and whistles, and it literally opened up something in me that I had repressed for a very long time in my life. Like I just bought in from the beginning, and like it what you said about it is when you, and I said it in my video that I just put out, like when you were a kid and you were laying in bed, and you hollered for your mom or your dad or your sister or whoever it was, because you were legitimately scared, or the closet was a little open and you were staring in there. Like a little kid's mind, you can envision somebody standing in your closet even though nobody's there, or hear something down the hallway or whatever.
Yeah,
And
I was gonna
think
say, I was gonna say the sound, like when you're scared, like your sound goes into stereo, like you hear a
right, it
fucking pin
does,
drop,
yeah.
It's
Hmm.
true.
And I think that Skinamarink took that essence of the fear of innocence and was able to duplicate it into a film. And then if you like really read about Kyle Edward Ball, and how they planned it, what I mean, like they didn't just shoot that shit, what I mean, like every single angle, frame, they switched different millimeters of film from 35 to 16 to some light 70, to do some of the analog stuff in there. And like the way that they planned everything, the lighting, the corners, it's so manipulated your mind that if you stared at it long enough, maybe you did see something in there. But it's all about the viewer. Like you either buy in or you don't. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's not a movie that people say, yeah, I kind of liked it. No, you either love it or you fucking hate it. There's no in between.
Right.
well, I'll tell
But
you,
it just does it for me. Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. I think it is, what you said, honestly, makes me want to watch it again. Just simply because of that innocence vibe, like I think about children, and the way that they would see things and do things like that. So like maybe get in the mindset of how they feel, because
Yeah.
my son and my daughter both are afraid to even go turn their bedroom lights on, so like
Right.
so get almost in the mindset of them. But I think that movie is a personal movie
Yeah, yeah.
to
That's why I
people.
said it. That's why I said it. You almost have to have a personal relationship with it from the get-go, like you were saying, Chuck, because that's what I felt like. Like I didn't have it with that movie. I did have it with like Blair Witch Project, where it
Same.
it felt
Yeah,
for
me too. I
me
think everybody.
that movie felt like I was holding the camcorder and I had found that fucking shit in the
Absolutely.
woods. And I was like, am I the only one seeing this? You know what I mean? It was that movie had right from the get-go, I had a relationship with it. And that was an experience
I'm not,
movie. You know what I mean? It puts you there where they're
I'm not.
confused and you're getting confused with them and you're getting frustrated with them.
Absolutely.
So,
The Blair Witch Project is
yeah.
the greatest marketed movie in the history of film, in my opinion.
100%.
Right. Absolutely.
100%.
And that was the other thing is they started that from the beginning. And I'll be honest, like and Taylor can attest to this, I was in on Skinamarink from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Blair Witch and Skinamarink are like separated at birth.
Right.
For what they do. And a lot of people hated the Blair Witch Project too, because they didn't like the ending. It was convoluted, it was ambiguous. But what it did is it tapped into fear that you didn't even know you had. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and it's scary. Have you guys, I'm curious, have you seen The Outwaters?
No, I want
I
to.
that came
I
yeah,
actually
yeah.
started that not too long ago, and I backed out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I want to
That's
see it
another.
really bad too. Is that a good one? So good.
It's like Skinamarink 2.0. Like
Dude,
it's
Gotcha.
hold up. The fuck? I actually started because of you. I seen your fucking thing, dude. And I backed out of it because I was like, this is too slow for me right now.
it's slow on purpose. Like the first like 40 minutes is loose character development. You get to know these people. Not much goes on, but like that's the point. It wants you to be off guard. It wants you to be comfortable. It wants you to be a little bored. And Robbie Banfield, or the guy that directed it, he said all these things. Like it's intentionally done the way it is, because like when it hits and it goes batshit crazy, it catches you off guard. Like you're in a, because it comes. There's no lead up to it. Like you're watching people walk through the desert, and then fucking 1 second later, you're in a time loop of madness and don't know what the fuck is going on.
Fuck
But
yeah.
it's also done from the perspective of those people. Like just like Blair Witch, whenever they were in the tent and you know what I mean? Like you felt like you were sitting in that tent, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like that's what the Outwaters does as well. But and real quick, just to touch on both of them, I'm a big fan of independent film. And if we don't support movies, like even
Right.
if you don't like Skinamarink
Mm-hmm.
or the Outwaters, like those guys that made them films, they swung for the fences and they put their art on film. And if we don't support things like that, we're going to get Imaginary, Night Swim, and all this trash over and over and over
Yes.
again. So like I
Oh,
have that respect going into it too.
Absolutely. That's
I
and we've said that from the beginning. Like we said, this is not, because we've shit on Skinamarink quite a bit, but like
yeah,
but we every time we do, we say this is not
we
a
can appreciate
this
it.
is not a shot at the director and the producers and the people who wrote this story, because this is something we've hardly ever seen before. It's a new
Right.
kind of subgenre that they're creating. And when you do that, like we said with content creation, you're gonna get haters and you're gonna get
Yeah.
people that
Yep.
loved it. But what does it do? It creates noise around it. And that's huge. And that's big for horror. That's big for
Absolutely.
the genre in general. It's just huge for. And I will always, both of us making films now, it's kind of hard to be like a
You
so-called
can't.
critic
Yeah.
or reviewer, right? Because you know how much fucking work goes into it. You know how hard it is. You know how hard it is to write a good script or a good story or shoot something to make it look good and do all the things, the bells and whistles and the tricks that they do. It's incredibly hard. So like it's so hard to shit on something. So you have to keep in mind, like some movies deserve negativity if you don't like it, but you also have to be respectful of what they tried to do,
You can
what their
appreciate.
vision was,
You
Agreed.
can appreciate it. So here's the thing. I literally just wrote on my desk right now, Imaginary. I have not seen anything but negative comments on
Right.
TikTok about Imaginary. Have you seen it yet?
I know I didn't go see it. I know, but I know better.
Yeah.
Well, it's the
But
Blumhouse money grab, right?
well, yeah, it is. And you know what? Like, I went to see Five Nights at Freddy's because I took my kids.
Fucking terrible.
And
My son
right,
loved it, but fucking terrible.
but that's what I'm saying. I got a 9-year-old and a 12-year-old. They fucking loved it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like I get how that was marketed. They didn't market Imaginary like that. It's it's not marketed like that. I mean, they're marketing it as a horror movie, and I feel like companies like that are insulting my intelligence as a viewer. Like you're roping me in to give me a disappointment, so fuck you, because you
Yeah.
knew what you were doing, and that I can't get on board with that. Now, just like when Exorcist Believer came out, I sat in a theater by myself and watched When Evil Lurks by myself. Belgium subtitles. Bring it on.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. I gotta finish that movie. I started it the other day.
I've
heard it's
not seen
crazy.
that. I want to watch it. I've seen it too, but is it subtitled?
Yeah, definitely.
It's subtitled.
I'm not gonna watch it.
You're missing out on a lot of good movies, dude.
I know.
I get it.
Like I've been trying to get him to watch Martyrs, and I fucking I love Martyrs, dude, and
It's fucking great.
it's fucking that shit crazy movie.
It is.
It is
I
so
need to
wild. I
watch it.
mean, it's just
I
like
need
the
to watch it.
last like hour of that film. That's one of those movies where you're like, it's one film and then it's a whole different film.
Oh yeah.
See,
know?
the whole thing for me is that like I can deal with those films like Society of the Snow. It's dubbed over. If it's dubbed over and I don't have to read the whole motherfucking thing, then
Fair
I'll
enough.
watch it.
I think I chose Society of the Snow subtitles over the English dub because the dub takes me out of it personally.
Right.
And listen, I used to be just like you. Like I used to hate subtitles with all my heart. I wouldn't watch anything. I was the same way. And do you know what actually got me into subtitles was Game of Thrones.
Ooh,
Because like
yeah.
I watched it all the way through without them, and then when I watched it a second time with the subtitles, it's so much better because there's so much shit that happens that you can't hear, but you can read it, and it gives you so many more like plot points of what's going on. And then I've been sold ever since.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, so we had to turn a few on during Game of Thrones, but for me, I'm dyslexic. I can't read that shit fast enough.
I
Like,
understand.
and I keep telling I'm lost, I'm fucking done. And I'm like looking at my wife and I'm angry at her, like because I
Right,
can't
just get you
read.
pissed off, right? I get it.
Starts a fight in the household. It's the last thing you need.
She goes to bed mad, and I stay on the couch. It's
Why are
just
you guys getting a divorce? Goddamn
Yeah.
subtitles.
subtitles.
Right, because she can read. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
funny.
funny.
It. That's
So
it.
I have a question for you. Just talking, something popped in my head when you said it's because it's how I feel about it. It might not be how you feel about it, but you had mentioned seeing, gore. It has to mean something. What did you feel about the Terrifier movies so far?
Oh,
Because I'm big on the gore. It looks fucking great. The practical
Well,
effects look
I mean,
great, but
the effects are
I'm gonna be honest, I fucking hate the story. Like, I just don't like
story's
it. Like,
terrible.
I really don't like it. It's really weird, but the effects are fucking amazing. I mean, it's very good. You haven't seen movies like that in a really long time, but especially with the second one, I was just like, what's going on? There's like 4 endings to this movie.
right. I'm not going to backpedal on what I said, but I will revise a little bit. Um, I don't love Terrifier as much as other people do.
Yeah.
But do I think having a new possible slasher icon in horror is a very
Right.
important thing? Yes, because we needed one. Like I'm sick of Ghostface. I'm sick of
Right,
new
right.
Halloweens.
I've
Sure.
seen that.
Um,
I've seen that you had something to say about Ghostface. I'm curious to hear about that too.
I mean, I think he's clumsy. He always gets his ass kicked. He gets beat by a girl every time. Like, I mean, even in the first Scream, like these are dumbass fucking high school kids. Like, just fucking shoot them. Like, I love the first Scream, but like all these years later, like it's enough's enough. I don't think he's as important as Jason or a Freddy or a Chucky or anything like that. You know what I mean? But was the movie brilliant and it redefined the genre again? Yes, absolutely. Like it's just not. I don't love it like other
So
people do.
what you're saying is that Terrifier could redefine the genre.
Terrifier's already redefining the genre, and when it redefines the genre is by breaking other genres. Like there was that show that was just on Netflix with Pete Davidson, who I'm not a huge fan of, but
I
he just
fucking
had
hate
like
Pete. Fucking
yeah,
sucks.
but he just had like this little scripted comedy thing on Netflix. And Pete Davidson gets millions and millions of views. And like he was in this store and they had all these Terrifier toys of Art the Clown like on the
Yeah.
shelf. So he is breaking into mainstream comedy, like he's becoming an icon. Like, and once 3 comes out, it's a done deal. And I like Terrifier. But going into that, like it's a slasher. I don't need that much story. You know what I mean? I'm not
Right.
going into that wondering there's going to be some great plot. So that's like a little bit different to me.
Yeah.
What about what? So speaking of slashers, and one that's really stuck out with me ever since December was oh, what's that fucking one with the guy we like from Jeepers Creepers, Tusk. I love him so much.
Oh,
Dodgeball,
Barbarian,
Barbarian, Dodgeball.
Yeah.
What's his name? It's Winter.
Justin Long.
Justin
Yeah,
Long, yeah.
Justin Long. What's the winter? What's the newest slasher he was just in?
Oh, the New Year's, was it a New Year's one or a Christmas one?
It was New Year's or Christmas.
It
Yeah, I
was
can't.
Christmas. It was
Totally Killer.
no, it was a play
No.
it was a play off of It's a Wonderful Knife. That's what it was.
A Wonderful Knife. Yes, that is a slasher movie done right. That's a holiday slasher that I felt was done absolutely brilliant. It took it back. It was like a Hot Top Time Machine mixed with slasher. It was fucking brilliant. That one. Did you ever watch that? Did you see
I
that?
haven't seen it.
Oh my god, that movie.
I'm
I fucking
gonna watch it.
I mean, that's
love it.
funny that you mentioned that though, because Totally Killer was basically Hot Tub Time Machine.
I never watched it. I
Go-
like I have it saved. I don't want. I
Totally
don't.
Killer was like Scream, a Hot Tub Time
Yeah.
Machine.
It's just a fun slasher.
Yeah. It was a
Yeah.
pretty good one.
And
Mhm.
that's the way I feel about like, and that's what I like. That's the slashers I care for. I guess they're almost like horror comedies, like
They pretty much
um,
all are, besides like I mean, Halloween and so, I mean, Scream has always kind of been that, right? It's very in and of itself, right? It's
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
and
very
that's
I
self-aware.
mean, what was it?
correct. Yeah,
Three. He throws a knife and the butt of it hits him in the head. Like it's just fucking silly.
right.
Have you
It's
watched Here for Blood?
no,
No, I seen you recommended that, and I
Oh,
want
it
to
fucking
watch it.
rips. Yeah, I mean it's heavy metal wrestling and cults. Like it's
Yeah.
that's dope.
fucking great.
I
Yeah,
love a
it's
good, I
dope.
love,
Yeah,
I love a good cult movie. So,
yeah,
um,
same.
um,
How
All right,
did you
hold on.
guys find? How'd you guys find me?
I found you,
yeah,
and I'm
Taylor
not
did on
gonna. I'm not
TikTok.
gonna lie. Like I stumbled across you, and I was just enamored. Like I literally, every time you come on, I couldn't stop watching because you have such an abrupt way about you.
Mhm.
Like you're like, I'm Chuck. I'd love to be your movie guy. Like and just like and in your face, and I'm like, all right, I want to hear what he says.
Right.
And it just kept going, and like every time I'm on the toilet, I see you, and I'm like, I must love this guy. I don't know.
Then the
And
algorithm kicked in.
yeah, so I searched you on Instagram, I think, right? Or no, wait, I messaged you first through email because I seen it was on your TikTok, and I was like,
Right.
fuck email, and I went to Instagram. Um, but yeah, you are. I do feel like you're a very your brain does work differently. Let's just say that when it comes to movies,
It does.
you give everything that we need to know, but you don't give anything away, and that's what I like about you.
Well,
Right.
what's nice too is like I could tell you're a very like behind the scenes guy too, which I'm huge on. I watch all the, you know, I watch all the mini docs on the DVDs and all that shit.
Same.
I love how everything's made. I love what went wrong, what didn't, what was a surprise to the writers and directors, what was supposed to work one way, didn't, and it worked this way. I love all that shit, especially with indie horror or lower budget, where we have a lot of those
Right.
people on this show. And it seems to be that it's comforting knowing that, because I feel like it can feel like a movie's supposed to be perfect, and then you realize that none of them are really perfect and things go wrong all the time. And like
Right.
if you're trying to make films or something like that, or even trying to interview people, like it's nice to know that they have just as many problems, and
Absolutely.
so it's cool to know that kind of stuff. And you're knowledgeable in that sense as well, which is cool.
Yeah, I hate people that like. Well, I don't hate them, but like, there's people on there that'll just tell you everything about the movie. You know what I mean? Like, and that's not the
Yeah.
point. Like the point is like, this is why I like it. I hope you watch it. But like, even with like independent films, and why I love them so much is because with just a minimal budget, you can make such masterful things, which I think is so hopeful. Like, I don't know if you've seen that movie Brightwood that just came out about the husband and wife that get stuck in a time loop around a pond.
No.
Um, it's fantastic. They made it for $14,000. I mean,
Awesome.
and it's so well done. And like that movie Real that I will not stop talking about.
Yeah,
Like that
yeah.
dude, he made that movie for $4,000. Like that's it. You know, $4,000, which is insane to me.
Yeah.
Frogman was made for like 26 grand, and
Yeah.
it's
Dude.
fucking fantastic.
All right, so hold up. We have a very good supporter. His name's Sinister Horror, and he was actually just posting about Frogman, and I have never heard of that. I haven't even heard it from you. And he was posting about it. Like what? Tell me
Is
about
this like
that.
a super indie film or what?
No, it just came out today. I got a screener from Rotting Press. So I had it for a while. Um, it's an independent found footage film, and it's about this guy that catches. You know, when he's with his family when he's young. They're in Loveland, Ohio. He they pull off on the side of the road and they see something. And he happens to be recording their trip, and he catches this frogman. And like you could Google Frogman's a real thing, like in Loveland, Ohio. It's like the mascot of the town. Like they
Oh
sell
wow.
Frogman shit in every store, like they just turned it into like their economy there. So they made a fucking movie about it, about this frogman and this guy that goes back 20 years later to prove that it's alive because people told him he was full of shit his whole entire life. And it for found footage, it's an hour and 15 minutes. You don't get stuck watching people walk through the woods. Like you
Right.
get to know the characters, you get to like the characters, you get the lore behind the frogman. They go look for it and shit pops off and goes off the fucking rails, and it's brilliant.
I like that. Hey, my name is this Frogman. Now we
Yeah,
get
just
now we
boom.
get now we get Frogman, which is nice.
See, I'm loving that because the name itself turned me away. Automatically, I was, as soon as I seen it, I was like, nah, I'm all right.
See, that turns me to it because I like Octoman and shit, all those old.
Me too.
all the-
I can watch
Yeah.
Sasquatch movies, cryptids,
Yeah.
any of that weird shit. I want to. There's a team of guys making one about the Jersey Devil, a found
Oh,
footage about the
nice.
Jersey Devil,
That's
which I'm
cool.
all in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
cool. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
It's
see,
just weird shit.
see, I know about that, but like with Frogman, as soon as I seen it, I was like, what the fuck? That's cool. So I'm gonna actually talk to our John and I both know him. He gives us lots of love, and I guess did you say it come out today? Is that
It
what you
just came out today. Yeah, it's video on demand as of today.
Oh,
So
nice.
obviously he has some kind of like insider thing to it because he's been posting about it. So I'm
That's
excited to
cool.
see what he says. But either way,
I'm writing down Frogman right now, and the Outwaters, is that what it was?
yes,
That one
Brightwood.
yeah.
Brightwood
Yeah,
and
Brightwood's dope.
0 Day, John. Put it down.
If you watch Martyrs,
Dude, I can't
Wow.
fucking read.
Wow. But listen, Martyrs is such a beautifully shot film.
yeah,
You don't even necessarily need to read shit. Like that's going to affect you if you just watch it.
yeah, it's pretty brutal too. I mean, it's
Yeah,
cool.
it's
It's cool,
brutal.
So
cool
Chuck,
practical effects and shit too.
I wanna go into one thing. Your live video the other night. I don't know if this happens every time, but dude,
Oh, the guy.
some guy tried to enter your live, and it was the
Oh,
funniest
you were
fucking
telling me
thing,
about
dude.
that.
I was correct. You were like, I can't. I'm at it now. No, fuck you, guy. I'm out of this thing now. Like, what do I do? It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
That guy got to me.
Is there no
And
way to shut that off?
I usually don't let them get to me, but I was sick because I've been sick. I had like this flu, and he just kept going and going and going. He got to me, and I tried to be as respectful as possible, but like I just got to the point. I'm just like, dude, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Dude,
And I couldn't help it.
you were like, guy, quit fucking doing this. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Then you just like completely went off screen. I'm like, keep going, keep fucking going. It was literally gold, dude. Everything that you were doing. So if something like that happens again, just keep being you and keep doing what you were doing because that was fucking perfect.
No, I appreciate it. It's hard to carry an internet persona and like, cause I try to be as genuine as possible. Cause you're either getting who I am and you like me or you don't, and you can fuck off. Like that's how I feel. But like, I'm a very blunt person. You know what I mean? So like, it's like he just it just crossed the line. And it's a real person too. Like I don't think it's a bot or anything like that. But whatever. I mean, it is. I got tons of comments and feedback about it. So like, it helped me in the long run. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say
Oh, yeah.
next time let him in and then be like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, just fucking go off on, then cancel him out.
Wait till you see his face and be like, look at this prick. Like,
Yeah.
this fucking guy out of here. That'd be must see television right there.
All right, I think we're coming up on 30 minutes.
Way past 30 minutes. Well, not way past, but we did good. We did good.
Yeah, we did well.
We got anything else to ask? I mean, we should definitely do this again. This was fun.
Yeah, honestly, Chuck, I think you're definitely my movie guy.
I
I
appreciate
would
that.
like
For
for you
sure.
to say one thing. You know, I'm Chuck, you know, I'm your movie guy. I think you should check the candy. I think that would be very cool.
I absolutely will. I'm Chuck. I'd love to be your movie guy, and it's time that you should check the candy.
Hell yeah.
you go.
Fucking
Yeah.
love it, man. Yeah, you're definitely our movie guy, man. We appreciate you coming on. Maybe in the future we'll do some movie reviews together or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm down to do anything at any time or any questions or anything like that. Like I consider this building a relationship. I'm way super grateful for the opportunity. And yeah, if anything's ever needed for me, it's a short DM or an email away. You could find me over on TikTok at Charlie Napalm 2, or you could just put up in the search bar. I hit the search bar now. You could just put in Chuck the Movie Guy, and you will find me. And my Instagram is yourmovie_guy. And as of right now, that's just kind of where I'm living at. So that's where you can find me. And I hope you come and check me out and go along for the ride.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I think everybody should, because honestly, that's where I get all my fucking information from, from these wild fucked up movies.
Yeah, if you wanna check out some crazy obscure movies that you maybe haven't heard of, that's
Yeah,
your
like
guy
a
right
girl getting fucked by a car.
there.
This is your guy.
That movie's
Alright.
so good.
Awesome.
We
All
love
right,
it.
guys. We'll see you later.
Doses.